Hey there, Dynamite fans. Come join us here at The Experience this Monday, March 13th at 6 p.m. Eastern, our usual time. We're going to have some fresh Dynamite books, all your favorite Marvel and DC titles, and hopefully everyone will be here. And by everyone, I mean Rex and John, because he's the one who's always missing lately. But no matter what, it's going to be a great show. So remember, come join us on The Experience, March 13th, 6 p.m. Eastern. See you then.
Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Live!
Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. Welcome, in fact, to Rockin Robbie Live. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. How is everybody doing? A fantastic day here in PCP land. Earlier today, we had Rom the Fifth. We had Rom V here for another conversation. It was a great conversation, and I even had people tell me it was probably the best show I ever did. And I say that has nothing to do with me, has everything to do with Rom V, and maybe 10% to do with the Brainiac. But anyway, I hope you checked it out. If not, be sure to check out our conversation with Rom V. We had a lot of technical talk, a lot of stuff about craft in the comic book world, a lot of stuff about thematic material, structure, pacing, what else? Rhythm, momentum, all that kind of stuff. Super fun conversation. But here we are again for a Rockin' Robbie Live. We're not going to be as packed with bits tonight because we did do that show with Rom V, so no Marvel in the 90s tonight, and I'm sorry about that, but it will be back next week. We also do not have a Batman. Perry, I see you out there. Perry, I really need you to send me some more Batman clips because I'm out. Bruh, I need you to send them to me. Please. Anyway, happy to see everybody here. Once you get in the chat, throw out a station, maybe even a pop, boom. Let us know that you're up in the room. Very excited for Rockin' Robbie Live. We still got a great show planned tonight, though. We still got the first 5 coming up. We still got the DC sneak peek. We'll be doing a non-spoiler review of Scream 6. So I'm going to review Scream 6 in a non-spoilery way. And I'm going to share some of my thoughts before I give more of my full thoughts this upcoming Thursday. I believe we're doing it on Dylan's Horror Show, where we're going to be talking all the spoilers on Scream 6. Well, also, I got a really gracious package from Verno from Blood Splattered Chatter, one of our co-hosts and cohorts over at Dylan's Horror Show. Send me a big box of VHS tapes. And I don't really know what's in it, but we're going to be opening that up live tonight. Lots of fun here on Rockin Robbie Live. So be sure to like, share, and subscribe and join the PCP Army. That's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. If you're on Facebook, follow us there. We're also on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter at the Rockin Robbie. You can support the channel at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons right there, and we really do appreciate the support. Or with a super chat, you can unlock a Hellboy song possibly with a super chat. No super chat menu tonight, but that will be returning next week. So there you go. You can find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com, as well as merch. That's right. We got PCP merch if you're looking to get it. You can find those links at popculturephilosophers.com. All that is down in the description below. You can receive $15 in Whatnot credit at whatnot.com/invite/The Rockin Robbie, and keep in mind that's only for new accounts. You can save 10% at BlackBoxComics.net when you enter code PCP10, and you can save 10% at DynamicForces.com when you enter your code Robbie. Also, speaking of Dynamic Forces, speaking of Dynamite, I am part of a Kickstarter that's being launched right now. It is for a Reanimator comic book that is written by Cullen Bunn and illustrated by Blackie Shepherd, but there is several options for covers, and one of those covers is yours truly. That's right, Rockin Robbie as the reanimated dead on a Reanimator cover that is available right now on Kickstarter. There is a link pinned in the comments, and I also just threw one out yet again, so totally worth checking out. We also got a link to a Shopify account that we've set up with our friends at Dynamic Forces, a curated list of offerings at great deals, great prices. You got signed books, you got sketch covers, you got all kinds of cool stuff. Check it out. All those links in the description below and flashing all along the bottom there in our ticker. Coming up this week, let's see. PCP Movie Night tomorrow night. We continue March Madness with a look at Brian De Palma's Dressed to Kill. Very excited to talk about this film starring Michael Caine and Nancy Allen. A lot of important things to unpack there and a lot of ways to kind of interpret it in a new sense, right? So Dylan's Horror Show, we are going to be doing the Scream 6 spoiler review, I believe Thursday night, but March Madness also continues Saturday night when we talk about Triangle. Triangle is a film that was recommended to us by Two Gun Pedro. He actually sent me and Dylan both Blu-ray copies because he's learned if he wants to get his picks in there, just send us the Blu-rays and we're going to do it. Neither me, Dylan, or anybody else on the panel has seen this film, so we're very excited to check that out. But tomorrow, before the Dress to Kill show and after my show over at The Experience, be sure to check out Scarpad's Sci-Fi Sojourns as they talk about Westworld, which is a really cool and nifty Michael Crichton film. All right, so that's what's coming up. Let's take a look at the chat. But before we do that, it is time for your First Five. And we're going through this 1995 Fleer Ultra Spider-Man set, all painted, all Spidey villains and Spidey heroes and team-ups and all kinds of cool stuff. We are now in Unlikely Allies. So these are cards representing times when Spider-Man teamed up with an unlikely ally, mostly a villain. So continuing this, we got Spider-Man and the Lizard teaming up. Pretty decent card right there by Ray Rubin. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. Then we've got Man-Thing. Spider-Man teaming up with the Man-Thing. It's a pretty nifty card by Tom Kiffin. I really like that one, actually. Then we've got, is that Puma? It is Puma. Spider-Man and Puma by Ezra Tucker. Man, I am such a mark for Puma. Where's Puma been? What's up with him? When I was reading Spider-Man comics for the first time in the 80s, I thought Puma was like the biggest deal. I thought Puma was like the number one Spider-Man villain because they were utilizing him so much. Then we got a wonderful card here. Now, it says it's illustrated or painted by Bill Hall, but this is totally referencing some Mark Bagley action on that Venom. So we got Spider-Man and Venom teaming up right there. When does the team up happen? It says Lethal Protector 5. Oh yeah, it shows you when all the team ups happen. Well, that's actually kind of cool. Then we go into a new subset of the cards that are called Carnage USA. Now this is before the, I think, Zeb Wells, Clayton Crane Carnage USA book, but it's just Carnage at famous landmarks in the United States, and we're going to kick that off with Carnage at the Statue of Liberty. And what's really cool about these is that the back is like a postcard. First of all, Gail Heimbach did that, but on the back it's like a postcard. So each one of these is like basically Carnage, Cletus Cassidy, taking a selfie and sending it to Spider-Man in the, let's see what it says. Dear Spider-Man, hey web-slinger, guess where I am? Wait, I'll give you a clue. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free, and I'll pull them out of their misery. Still, don't know? Well, I'll just have to light up the old torch so you can come and find me real easy. It's pretty obvious the answer is the Statue of Liberty. And it looks like he's blowing it up. Oh, yes, he's blowing up the Statue of Liberty. And he has painted, Carnage was here. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. These cards are awesome. And that has been your First Five. All right, let's take a look at the chat, see what's up. Because I have that thing pinned, I can't go all the way out. Now, I saw that somebody had mentioned the Rom V thing, the Rom V conversation that we had, and they said, definitely a great show. Check it out. So that's awesome. Thank you for that. The artist formerly known as Jesse Say What is in the house with a station and a pop, pop, boom. That's always super cool to see that bust up into the room. We got GT Key Comic in here. We got Perry. What's up, Perry? I need some more, Batman bits. Perry says, Robbie looking like he got all the Riz in this, all the rise in this thumbnail. Is that Riz or Rise? I don't know this TikTok lingo that you're talking about, but thank you. He's the Pitts no cap. Are you trying to confuse the old man, Robbie? Is that what you're trying to do, Perry? I think that that's a compliment. I'm going to take it as such, so thank you. Rogue Collecting is in the house. What's good, y'all? Well, what's good with you? And Rogue Collecting also hopes everybody is having a good weekend. I don't know, the only way that my weekend could be better is if, like, I don't know, like a bajillion dollars fell out of the sky and like I don't know, like a 1990 Pontiac Firebird fell out of the sky with Johnny Lawrence and we could just go cruise for chicks, right? Then we got Evil Face Bad in the house. What is up? John Stout's in the house. How you doing? And we got Spilios. I got something to say. It's better to burn out than to fade away. That's right. Our Ariaga is in the house. Look at all the love everybody's spreading. Hey, there's Scarpad, Scarpad's Domain. Do be sure to check them out for Scarpad Sci-Fi Sojourns tomorrow, where they're going to be talking about Westworld. That's at 7:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, I believe is what that's supposed to represent. Because the time change happened, which made me really freaked out. Like, I woke up this morning, I was like, Rom, like, does your time change? Our time's changed. Like, I was so worried that we were going to be off. But it worked out just fine. Hey, we got OUG in the house. What is up, Carrie? How you doing? Definitely want you on the show March 23rd when we talk about the best comics of the month, up to that point at least, because we're not doing it the last Thursday because I will be at MegaCon. So very excited. If you're going to be at MegaCon, shout out. Let us know that you're going to be there. And if you see me and you see Bueller or you see Mike the Voice Matthews or you see anybody that you recognize, say what's up. Come on. Who else is up in here? Taki is in the house. Daylight saving is a bitch. 100. Yeah, you know it. You know it. Woke up. I was like, it's already that time. And then we did the show with Rom. And then it's just daylight savings time sucks. It really sucks. I hate it. I really do. I don't mind when we fall back. But then we're in standard time, right? But I don't like the push forward ahead an hour thing. It's just a pain in the ass. And when you got two shows on a Sunday, it really just tightens everything up. Right now it should be like 6 something, right? We should all be gearing up for Rockin Robbie Live. But you know what? We all good. Interfacer is in the house. Station, my man. Taki says, Rockin Robbie, it was your best show without the hat. Thank you for that. Though I've done plenty of shows without hats back in the day. But thank you. Comics Joe's in the house. Yo, Rockin Robbie, I made it happy for you. Perry says, Rom V stream was lit as fuck, homie. Really slaps. No cap. He's the pits. Oh, God. You've been on TikTok too long, Perry. We're about to have an intervention. Fudge, I forgot. I got you. You're gonna make 10 of them. Please do, Perry. Just make a shit ton of them because they're fucking hilarious. They're so funny. In fact, my favorite was the last one. So we're not doing a Batman bit, but I still got it loaded up. So let's just one more time appreciate the awesome intros that Perry gives us for Batman.
You think I'm Iron Man, but I'm not. I am that man. Batman. Or am I the Joker? I don't know who I'm supposed to be. God damn it!
That one, they all crack me up. That one in particular really cracks me up. Let's see who else is in here. Pop, pop, boom. The neighborhood Merc is in the house. Love the Ron V show today. Still need to finish the last 20 minutes. Hell yeah. William says the Ron V episode earlier today was great. Well, thank you for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it. Must have been a good day he's rhyming. You know that it's always a good day when we're rhyming just to have some fun. Sometimes it doesn't always work. Spilio says, sorry, missed the Ron V interview. Was at Disney and got home in time to watch tonight's show. Well, no fault. No problem there. You get to watch it on the replay, Spilio. I had a great conversation. So I'll be honest with you guys. I don't really actively reach out to set up conversations and interviews with creators anymore. So usually when we have someone on, it's either it's a very natural and organic thing or they've asked to be on, right? So Rom just sent me a message. He's like, hey man, it's been a while. I'd love to have another chat. If you want to, I got the vigil coming up and, we can talk about that or just whatever. I just want to hang out. So I was like, absolutely. Let's set that up. So we did. And he didn't have like a PDF yet for the vigil, which comes out in May. However, he did send me his initial pitch, some finished artwork from the pages, not colored, but black and white finished inked artwork. And he sent us the entire first script. Or at least the first draft of his first script. And I really, first of all, appreciated reading a Rom V script and his pitch. That was great. The artwork looked cool. And if I was an editor at DC, I would greenlight the hell out of this project. Like 100%. It sounds cool. And if you liked things like Planetary, the Vigil, he described as wanting it to be kind of almost like the spiritual successor to Planetary. And if you know, then you know, and it's awesome. But it was a great conversation. I got to ask him a lot of burning questions that I've been developing over the last year, really, because I think we had a conversation last year over at Manny's channel. It was David M. Boer, Ron V, and Eric Burnham, I believe. And we had a great conversation there. That was right when he was about to take over Carnage. So we got to talk about that, and we talked about it, and it was awesome. I asked him about Radio Apocalypse. I mentioned my struggle reading Venom and Carnage. We don't hold back. We're authentic here, and Rom's a friend. He's more than a friend of the show. He's a homie of the show now, and he's got a lot of exciting things to come that y'all didn't even know about. So, like, really lots of cool things happening in the world of Rom V. But I definitely need to reach out to Dan Waters again. I would love to have Dan back on the show. And I know he's got something new coming up this year, so. Lars, what is up? Lars says, hello, just a quick question. Are you going to read Miracle Man? I would say that and The Sandman is the greatest series ever. Then I would say that you would say that Sandman is the greatest series ever. Then I would say that Miracle Man, the Golden Age, is some of his best writing. I will. I want to finish the Alan Moore stuff. Because I never finished the Alan Moore stuff, and I thought about getting the omnibus, and then we sold out at the shop because I ordered plenty of those Miracle Man omnibuses for our shop, and then I thought that there would at least be one left if I still, wanted one like a month or two later. And no, they sold super quick. So what I've been doing is I've been collecting the Eclipse Comics versions, and it's going to make, what is it, is it 15? Is that the one that's really, really expensive, hard to get? But we'll find it. We'll make do, but I like that because I don't like there's some censorship and some recoloring in the Marvel production, and I don't really necessarily like it, but I would like that omnibus, I guess. That's cheaper than putting it all together, but I think I do have like the first 5 or 6 issues, and I want to read those before I dive into the Neil Gaiman stuff. So yes, I guess the answer is yes. I just have to have them first. because I don't like reading digitally if I can help it. But you saying that it's second only to something like Sandman is high praise. Hey, we got a super chat. Looking forward to Saturday night at MegaCon. Going up to the con mainly to see you, my friend. Looking forward to seeing you too, buddy. Very excited to meet Spilio. Very excited to meet a lot of people at MegaCon, including you, my man. And it's going to be great. So are you only there for Saturday, or are you going to be there longer? I'm there for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. We're leaving Sunday. I'll be in town Wednesday night, but we'll probably be beat. But I don't know what's going to be going on. I know Bueller's going to be there. I'm going to be trying to hang around him. Saturday at the con, 2 big milestone moments in the life of Rockin Robbie, and that is Sam Raimi is there Saturday and Sunday only. So I am doing what it takes to meet Sam Raimi straight up. And your boy got tickets to meet Frank Miller. I'm gonna meet Frank Miller on Saturday night. Rockin Robbie and Frank Miller together, finally, for the first and probably last and only time. But I got to give a major shout out to our man, Robbie Bateman, Robbie from Earth 2, who graciously bought me a ticket to go meet Frank Miller. Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. So let's celebrate, and thank you for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it. Oh, that's still on? Let's turn it up. Hey, Spilio, let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon, and I'm not a who. Had a sex with a demon, but was raised by Professor Broom. Now he fights evil and monsters. Shit. Now he fights with a man who's a fish named Abe. And now he fights with a fire starter named Liz, and an ectoplasmic mess named Johann. BPRG. Thank you so much, Spilio, for all the generosity that you've been showing us. You're a Patreon member. You always super chat. You super thanks. And I cannot wait to see you and spend some time hanging out with my man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to have a good time, bruh. First of all, we're going to get shit-faced. Second of all, we're going to have fun. We're going to, be the craziest people. That's what we're going to do. I'm just kidding. But maybe we will. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? I saw today that Manny bought one of the books in Robbie's store. Yes, John, he did. He bought one of the Joker sketch by Ken Hazer. There's some good stuff out there. Y'all need to check it out. Link in the description below. Comics Joe says, I'm new, so don't know what station means, but what the heck station? Well, Taki's got you covered. He says station is from Bill and Ted, and it's like aloha. It means a lot of different things at different times, but always positive. Mostly it means be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes. But it's the greeting of the future in Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. We are big fans of Station here. Plus, the character. So let's just go ahead and have an official moment for, where the hell is it? Station identification. Here we go. All right. Oh, you thought it was a Star Trek thing. Station! Hell yeah. Hey, we got Ronald in the house. What is up, my man? How you doing? Hey, Mark is in the house. What's up, Mark? Mark from Geeks Unleashed. Yeah. Bat Jesus. Sup, Robbie? Rom V interview was so good. Dude is killing it across the board. I know he is a superstar. And at the end, he was telling us about these other things he's got in the works. I was like, bro, you're about to be too big for us. And he goes, nah, I'll never be too big for y'all. Let's hope he keeps that promise. I got his phone number just in case. Yo, what's up, Third Rail? We got Cardstock Variant in the house. How you doing? Comics Joe says, how are you able to keep your cool when you get to interview your favorite writers? I'd be all over the place. Well, we started off all over the place, but we've done a few of them now, so we're a little bit more seasoned with it. But, I always still get nervous, but it's what I like to do is try to have more of a conversation than an interview. Like, obviously it starts with me being like, hey, tell us about Vigil. What's it about? Like, we have questions, but I want it to then veer into like a conversational mode. And that's what one of the things that not only Rom, but many people have told us here is that they love coming on the channel because it's way different than when they go to like get interviewed by Newsarama or Comic Book Resources, or they're at a con and they got the Sci-Fi Channel there, trying to do this all, and it's just the same stuff over and over. And they really like hanging out here and having a more loose, free conversation. And we can get pretty deep sometimes. And I think we did today. So it was pretty fun stuff. So the answer is, Joe, just keep doing them. Hey, Two Gun Pedro's in the house. What is up, man? Pop, pop, boom. Carries in for the 23rd. Hell yeah. Hey, there's the Brianiac. Station, everybody. Had a great weekend. Saw Veer Das on Friday live. And then the conversation with Rom. Hell yeah. Neighborhood Merc says, I'm hoping to make it to MegaCon. Hope to see you there. Hey, there's Robbie Bateman. Pop, pop, boom, kiddos. Rom V interview was fire today. He needs to get here or some cons. I would love to see him at Heroes Con. I'd love to see him at Heroes Con, too. He mentioned he might be at San Diego. He's doing some European things. God, excuse me. He mentioned, though, he's like, I want to get out and do more cons in the States, maybe towards the later part of the year, because for reasons, and he said the least interesting of which is that he has to get a new passport. And we all know what a pain in the ass that can be. Actually, I can't, because I don't have a passport. I've never been out of the country. I want to. Where would I go? Anywhere, almost. I want to go to Egypt. I want to go to England. I want to go to Romania. I want to go a lot of places. And let's see. Mark says, I'm glad you're doing this earlier so I can make it. We're not doing it earlier. It's just that we do daylight savings time just a few weeks before y'all do. So for us, it's the same time. For you, it's earlier. But I'm happy you can be here, Mark. Hey, we got Steph in the house. What's up, Missing Link? Perry's sharing that Reanimator exclusive Rockin Robbie cover link. Thank you for that. Let's see. Joe says, as someone that works third shift, I love it when it gets dark around 5. Now I got to go hang my your curtains up. I got you. Atari, what is going on? How you doing? Scarpat says, I just read V's his new Detective Comics annual today. Interesting stuff. Yeah, he's doing a great job there. We had a good part of our conversation was involving that. Brian says, yes, it would be fantastic to talk to Dan. Seasons of Teeth has to be the title of the year. Yeah, I agree. And we gotta definitely. Yeah, I should reach out to him for that. Now, I know, Brian, I always tell you that we're slowing down. Don't overdo it. Robbie's got a lot going on. But I'll do anything for Dan Waters. I'll do anything for Dan Waters, I'll tell you that. Hey, there's Blood Splatter Chatter. Verno, what is up, my man? Formerly of the Cerebros. Steph says, planetary? Say less. I'm sold. Yep, me too. Me too. Joe says, I would love if someone can check on Donnie Cates. I'm not sure what happened, but his style is my favorite to read, and I miss him on Thor. He's allegedly going to be at MegaCon, along with Ryan Stegman, Ryan Otley. When I see him, I ain't going to be like, bro, what's been up? I'm just going to be like, nice to meet you. But the rumblings are that he's just dealing with some personal stuff. Hi, Helena. Good to see you in the chat. OUG says, my boyfriend will not read ebooks either. Won't do it. Can't convince him. I'll read them, but I'd prefer not to if I have the choice. Excited for you to meet Frank Miller. Yeah, me frickin' too, man. Like, oh my goodness. I can get one thing signed. I really want to get a Ronin #1 signed. However, my Daredevil 181, that's one of my favorite single issue comics of all time, and I've already met Klaus Janson and got him to sign it. So I got to get a Frank Miller, and yeah, I mean, and I know Dark Knight Returns is the one everybody usually wants, but I'm like Daredevil 181, that's the one I want both of them to sign. That book means so much to me. That is such a meticulously, what? That is such a perfectly crafted comic book that I absolutely adore. Eddie says, thanks for doing that dope interview with Rom V. Appreciate the insight. Thanks also for introducing me to his work. Station. Boom. Spilio says, with another super chat, so thank you so much. Only coming Saturday because of my situation with work. That makes sense. But my wife, Brittany, said, let's go for one day to see you, my brother. So I hope it's possible to hang out with you and Bueller for some drinks. We definitely have to make that happen. I don't know when the Frank Miller event ends, but it starts at 6 p.m. that night. So I will be missing Dylan's horror show. I haven't broke the news really to Dylan yet, but I'm going to, be like, bro, I'm missing it. But they're doing a movie on April 1st, which is the day I'm meeting Frank Miller. And I swear if I get there and they're like, April Fools, everybody, it's a different Frank Miller, I'll be so pissed. But I'm pretty sure it's really Frank Miller, right? But what if he cancels and it would be an April Fool's? Better get that money back. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So I don't know when it ends. So there's like a panel, then there's like selfie time and like signature time or something. So I don't know. But as soon as I'm free, I'm free. And then I'll be out there throughout the day on the day Saturday, but I don't know how long it's going to take to meet Sam Raimi. That might be a line, but I don't know. There's a lot of celebrity guests there. Christina Ricci's there. Neff Campbell's there. Skeet Ulrich is there. Dreamy Skeet Ulrich. Come on. So, John, we really do appreciate it, and thank you for the super chat again. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and a nana who had a sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom. Now he fights evil and monsters. Shit. Now he fights with the man who's a fish named Ace. Now he fights with the fire starter. That's fire. Named Liz. And an ectoplasmic mess named Johan. BPRD. All right. Raphael's here and says, hey, Robbie, you planning to play the Hellboy game when it comes out? Only if it's on a Nintendo 64 or before. I hope they port it to the Super Nintendo. No, I don't play a lot of modern games, so probably not. But you play it and let me know what you think. Or is it a board game? I know there's a Hellboy board game, too. but I haven't played that either. A78 Ert the Great. What's that? What is that? Is this? I don't know how to say that. I'm just good. What's up, Great? How are you doing? Hey, what's up, Eddie? An official moment for Hellboy. Well, thank you for that. What's up, Kenneth? What's up, Sinner? Lars says, having waited 25 plus years to be able to read Miracle Man: The Silver Age, and it has not disappointed. One of my other gaming books are Signal to Noise with Dave McKeon. Never read that one. Haven't been able to get a hold of one of those. What's up, Glenn? How you doing? Hey, we got Fable here. Station Fable. Excited to check your show out on the repeat. Fable had a special edition of Blame Fable and Friends today. Believe you had Big Herm and Manny on. Greta from Gremlin, smash or pass? Smash, Frankenfrog. Come on, get out of here. You tell me I would ignore the opportunity to have sex with a gremlin? The hell does that even mean, Robbie? Perry wants to go to Japan. That would be fun too. Spend too much money on manga, don't have the room to bring it back. Trade Paper Dad says, finally watched Wonder Woman 84. I rescind my decision. More like, I renounce my wish. Good stuff, good stuff. Scarpat, stop talking about Scream 6 until the appropriate time. By the way, we are doing a non-spoiler review for Scream 6. That'll be later on. Albert, that's what I was thinking. So thank you. Oh, yeah, the sevens. Like an upside-down L. I like that, Albert. Nice. Glad you're not going to miss this DHS this Saturday for personal reasons. Nah. I'll never miss a movie that you send me. I'll make sure I'm always there. Joe says, watching you review all them weekly comics blows my mind. How do you keep yourself motivated from week to week to read comics? I love comics. I've been reading comics since I was 5 years old, and it's never really stopped. I just absolutely love the art form. I love talking about them, and I love to just read a bunch of comics and then let you know what I think about them. And it's one of my favorite things to do is to chill here on YouTube with y'all, this great community that we built up, that y'all have built up, really, and just talk about comics. Now, there are weeks sometimes where I'm like, but I got little strategies that I do here and there. You know, I get to read my DC books early. I try to get the Image ones in a little bit early if I can. And I also have a strategy in which I put the books that I'm least looking forward to first. So that way the stuff I'm most looking forward to is towards the end. And it like brings up also things that are going to be very wordy or take a long time to read. I'll try to read as soon as I can. Steph said, I'm not going to comment on the Skeet Ulrich thing except for this. You do remember, Steph, he was in part 5. What was the first comic that I read? It was a DC Comics Presents, and I'm trying to remember, I think it was 67. Nope, not 67. That's the Santa Claus one. What's the one with Captain Comet? What's it, 87? Nope, that's the first Superboy. I'm trying to look at my Captain Comic, damn it. Let's just do that. It was from 1986 because it was... It's not that one. It's a later one. Is it in the 70s? 91! DC Comics presents 91. Superman and Captain Comet. That was the first comic book that I ever read. Never stopped. And we actually did a DC in the 80s based on that. So you can check that out. It's actually been clipped out and put up on its own. And it is the first comic I ever read. And we go through it. And it was good. Hey, we got our man Bueller in the house station. What's up, Robbie? You the man. You the man, Bueller. You're the man. Very excited to hang with you this weekend, man. Very, very excited. OUG says, ooh, everyone in the chat. What was your first comic you ever read? OUG says Batman Adventures 12. Do you still got it? That comic's worth a lot of money. Your first comic was Batman Adventures 12? Was it because you were a Harley Mark? Did you go and be like, I got to read that one, it's got Harley on it? Was it Batgirl? Were you a Batgirl Mark? Was it Poison Ivy? What was it? Oh, we got some answers coming in. This is a good topic of conversation. So I'm about to take a quick break, but when we come back, we will continue this conversation. I want to know, what was the first comic that you ever read and never looked back? Please let us know here on Rockin Robbie Live. We'll be right back with the DC Sneak Peek.
Hey there, Dynamite fans. Come join us here at The Experience this Monday, March 13th at 6 p.m. Eastern, our usual time. We're going to have some fresh Dynamite books, all your favorite Marvel and DC titles, and hopefully everyone will be here. And by everyone, I mean Rex and John, because he's the one who's always missing lately. But no matter what, it's going to be a great show. So remember, come join us on The Experience, March 13th, 6 p.m. Eastern. See you then.
Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Live!
Hey everybody, welcome back to Pop Culture Philosophers. In particular, welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live here on a Sunday night station. Pop, pop, boom. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. How's everybody doing? We've already had a great show tonight, just kind of catching up, talking a little bit about the Rom V show that we had earlier. If you missed it, we had another wonderful conversation with the most illustrious hair in comics and a superstar in comics and one of the absolute best writers in comics. And earlier, Joe was asking, how do you maintain your cool when you're interviewing or conversating with someone who you have so much respect for and you're kind of like fanboying on them? Rom V shares a story about when he was approached by Jonathan Hickman to work on the Three Worlds, Three Moons project, and he was like, he was starstruck, and he kind of talks about that a little bit, and it's a really cool conversation. By the way, you can get $15 in Whatnot credit at whatnot.com/invite/the Rockin Robbie, and that is for new accounts. You can save 10% at dynamicforces.com when you enter your code Robbie, and there's lots of great stuff there if you want to check it out. You can also save 10% at blackboxcomics.net when you enter code PCP10. Also, check out the Pop Culture Philosophers Shopify account that we put up in conjunction with Dynamic Forces. They're trying to help us out, and you can check out that link out in the description below, but it's also dynamicforces.myshopify.com/collections/pop/culture/philosophers. It's not a slash, that's a dash. Just hit the link in the description below. That's the best thing. But yeah, visit BlackBox Comics, and I want to make sure I got the website right. It's like BlackBox. All those links are in the description below, right? We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. If you're on Facebook, join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can follow me on Twitter at The Rockin Robbie. You can support the channel over at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons right there, or with Super Chat. And we always welcome Super Chats because we always have a lot of fun with them. And join the PCP Army, the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. I may have already said that, but it doesn't really matter. Tomorrow night, March Madness rolls on through as we talk about Brian De Palma's Dressed to Kill. And then Saturday night, we're going to be talking about Triangle for March Madness over at Dylan's Horror Show. And in the midst of all of that, be sure to check out Scarpad Sci-Fi Sojourns on Monday at 7:45 Eastern Daylight Time when they talk about Michael Crichton's Westworld. And after you watch that show, and after you watch our show of Dressed to Kill, then go back and watch the PCP movie night that we did on Westworld. March Madness is underway. It's going to be great. And we also have a really cool show planned on Thursday. Believe it's going to be on Dylan's Horror Show, where we have a spoiler-filled review of Scream 6. But tonight we're going to be having a spoiler-free review of Scream 6, the DC sneak peek, a VHS unboxing, and even more here on Rockin Robbie. Now, when we last left you, the question was brought up, what was my first comic? What was the first comic? And I told y'all, after struggling to find the exact number, DC Comics Presents number 91. Then OUG asked, hey, let's all share this information, right? So first of all, there it is. This is the actual first comic that I ever had. This is the actual physical copy. If you were here in person, you could see that it is incredibly well read. This book is from 1986. It was really focused on the phenomena of the Haley's Comet. Look how read this book is. Oh yeah, that's right, y'all. Because I'm for real. Mark Jewelers, baby. Boom, 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 boom. It's a weird flex, but it's there. But yeah, I love and adore this. We did a DC in the 80s on this one, and that's been clipped out there. So yeah, there you go. Superman and Captain Comet. This is it, and this is the one. You can tell it was loved. Stains. All just completely. You think I should press this? It's newsstand, Mark Jewelers. I don't know. Anyway, now I want to know, what was your first comic? So let's go back and look at the chat, see what people are saying. Let me put that away. The cool thing about when you have most of your comics in order is I just went and found it. Just knew exactly where it was. So that's nice. All right. So OUG's was Batman Adventures number 12. And she was a Harley mark, and that's why she got it. Fable says, Uncanny X-Men 212 and 213. Hell yeah. My first Uncanny X-Men was 201, I believe. Is that the one with Rachel phoenixing out on the cover? That was the first X-Men book I read. Joe says, I'm reading GCPD Blue Wall, and it's amazing. I wish Marvel could do something similar, like a Frontline or Daily Bugle book that focuses on the news. I agree, though, about GCPD Blue Wall. That book is amazing. Have you read The Legion of Superheroes 5 years later, Omnis? Heard it's very confusing and also very wordy. No, Death Rattle, I have not. I do have the first 12 issues, like the actual issues, though, of that run, because that run was heavily recommended to me by Dennis Camp, but I have not found the time to actually get into it. Lars says, what I think the best when it comes to this channel, not that there are any downsides, but the fact that you review single issues is brilliant. Well, thank you for that. Steph says, my earliest memory is Uncanny X-Men 160. Man, hell yeah. Excuse me. Achoo. Barry says, Punisher 74 Max Comics. Welcome to the Bayou. I was like 12 or 13 and it was so cool. Bruh, Perry, reading a Punisher Max book at 12 or 13? Hell yeah. Rhino says, The Sixth Gun didn't start reading comics till 2010. Perry says, my brother used to tell me if it says Max on the cover, you buy it. That was kind of true back in those days. Mark, love seeing you sing that song. You do it with so much joy that it's infectious. I bet if you lay that track down, it would blow up like Happy did, but you got to do a video. People got to see you. Yeah, maybe we should. By the way, if you're ever curious, the very first time that I did the Hellboy song, that's been clipped out, and it's available on YouTube to watch on its own. Just type in, like, Hellboy song, pop culture, philosophers, I guess, and it would pop up. But it's the very first time I did it, and it was off the dome, so it's slightly different. But over a few times of doing it and repeating it, it kind of became this final form. So thank you, Mark. Albert says, don't remember what I read, but my first comic book purchase was X-Men Unlimited #1. Oh, with Storm and Cyclops and Xavier stranded like in the snow or something like that. I remember that book. X-Men Unlimited, baby. Sinner's about to order some Wingstop. Lemon pepper with hot sauce on the side. Sounds good. I'm not the biggest lemon pepper fan, to be honest, but I do like Wingstop. I usually get the super hot one. That's what I usually get. R. Ariaga says, first comic I ever read was Uncanny X-Men 275. Jim Lee, just amazing. Steph says, Max was edgy in the early 2000s. Yes, it was. OG says, my brother and his friends read comics, and I wanted to buy one like them, so I gathered my money and bought it. That was a good buy. And here you are. Like 30 years later reading comics. Just think about that. Let that sink in. Trade Paper Dad says, my first comic was Uncanny X-Men 240, the Inferno series. Madeline Pryor made me feel some type of way at 10 years old. I bet she did. She makes me feel some kind of way at 41 years old, man. What are you talking about? Sal, what is up, my man? Two Gun says, I can't remember the first comic I ever read other than it was a DC comic. Hell yeah. Glenn says, Punisher War Journal 7 was my first comic book I ever read, then went back and got 6. That's a Wolverine one, right? Hell yeah. James says, Batman Year 1 is the first I can remember. Brian Yak says, I think the first comic I had was a Captain America and Falcon that came with a record. The first Just comic was like Iron Man 180 or something. Nice. Raphael says, first comic, What If the Hulk Had Become a Barbarian? Volume 1, number 23. Hell yeah. That's a dope one. I don't actually think I have that. I've been trying to piece together that run, but I don't think I have that one. John Stout says, I think my first comic was a Flash Superman race. Couldn't read it yet, though. That's awesome. I wonder which one, because that happened. There's like 3 big ones that happened back in like I guess the Bronze Age or maybe Silver even. Lars says, my first comic was an Alvin and the Chipmunks Summer Special, and I had it read to me. Oh my goodness. I loved Alvin and the Chipmunks so much. So much. So now I just want to do this. Watch out, 'cause here we come. We're back in style. Wait, what? Hold on. Watch out, 'cause here we come. It's been a while, but we're back in style, so get set to have some fun. We'll bring you action and satisfaction. We're the Chipmunks. CHIPMUNK. We're the Chipmunks. Guaranteed to brighten your day. When you feel like a laugh, give us a call and we'll give her all. And if you feel like a song, you tune in and sing right along. We're the Chipmunks. Coming on stronger than ever before. We're the Chipmunks. Alvin, Simon, Theodore. Doot, 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 doot. Fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah for Alvin and the Chipmunks. How about when we wrap up Batman, we do some Alvin and the Chipmunks? Is that available on Blue or DVD or anything like that? It'd be nice. It'd be nice. Sorry. Tugan Pedro says, but I do remember the first comic I ever bought off the rack was Uncanny X-Men 213. A lot of us getting into comics at the same time, at the height of it, right? Spilio says, my first comic was Flash 322, and I was shocked about the reverse Flash killing. Bruh. If that was your first comic, I bet you'd like, whoa. Sal says, first comic was Wolverine 41, Fire Silvestri cover. Hell yeah. What's up, Ouroboros? How you doing? Hey, Hammer Time Whole Shoes in the house. What's up, John? Wait, where's all the XXX spam stuff? Feel like maybe I'm on the wrong channel. We've been getting way less of that. I think we finally rose above it, maybe. Or YouTube finally figured out how to put a stop to it. Joe says, as a wrestling fan in the 90s, I got the Warrior 5-issue minis from Ultimate Creations. It's a Ultimate Warrior comic. It wasn't good, but I still own them. I would love to own them. I need some too. I was a huge mark for Ultimate Warrior. What's up, Easy Reader? Mark Robinson says, the first comic that hooked me was a reprint of the ASM Annual where he fought the Sinister Six. That's Annual number 1. I read comics up to that point, but that one hooked me. I think that was in 1985. Yeah, that's a really good, fun comic even today. John asks me, are you ready for Weezer, Robbie? Going to be an awesome show. Yes, I am ready, bruh. How does it go? Is it this? Is this what we do? Very excited. Weezer is coming to our town with Modest Mouse, so John hooked us up, and we're going to go see Weezer again together, so that's super cool. First time I'll be seeing Modest Mouse, though, so I think that's pretty cool. Joe says, also had a comic where Hulk Hogan had to wrestle the Incredible Hulk to use his name. Awesome. Hey, Hamburger, what's up? Yeah. Lars says, what got me to be a comic book fan was the genius of Carl Barks, then Asterix, never read Asterix. Lucky Luke, never read that. And then another genius, Hal Foster and his Prince Valiant and Bronze Age DC. I would love to have those, like, the collections of Prince Valiant and the Phantom, but they're so far into it now, there's just impossible to catch up. I'm a huge, huge fan of Carl Barks, though. And regardless of how many volumes there are out there, I will still get them. Like, I'm cool with it. I love, and it's been reprinted so many times. There's like an artist kind of edition or something like coming out of that. Man, I almost ordered it, but I still haven't been able to pick up my Todd McFarlane artist edition. So it was just, I really wanted to get that. And then his painting that he did later on is amazing. Who just asked? Ouroboros says, who's Captain Comet? Captain Comet is a dude whose powers are from the comet. And yeah, not really a popular character today, but he was a character from back in the day. Do you have a best arc of all time? Batman Year One. That's a safe one, but I'll go with that. Dominic says, my first comic was Captain America Annual, thing from 91. Von Strucker Gambit, hell yeah. Kiefer Bush says, Superman versus Muhammad Ali. Hell yeah, I got a copy of that. I can't wait to unpack that one soon. Hammer Time says, Batman 413 is the first book I remember buying, but I don't know. I had comics before that, but the first one I saw in a spinner rack and bought, I was 8 years old. Hell yeah. What's up, Ancient Unique? How you doing? Hey, we're the same age, OUG. That's awesome. We're 41 years young. Ouroboros says, I think I read Dark Knight Returns first or Grant Morrison Batman. I started on a Batman binge. William says, New Teen Titans 21, first Brother Blood story arc, was hooked immediately. My first X-Men was 172, spinning out of the Wolverine series. Hell yeah. Dude, the Gummy Bears theme. Oh. Gummy bears bouncing here and there and everywhere. Something, something, some without compare. They are the gummy bears. There you go. How about that? Hamburger Basket says, I got hooked on comics with Daredevil 260, Ann Nocenti, and John Romita Jr. Ann Nocenti just got announced for the Memphis Comic Expo. That's a stacked list. That's another con we're going to be at in Memphis, Tennessee. The Memphis Comic Expo. Holy freaking cow, y'all. Garth Ennis is going to be there. Kevin Eastman is going to be there. I've met Kevin Eastman. I got to do a panel with him last year. So I'm excited to see Kevin again. But Garth Ennis, Brian Pulido, holy freaking cow. Alan Davis, Christopher Priest. I'm forgetting some names, but they already got a massive lineup. Cardstock says, first one I can remember buying was Simpsons Comics 39, a flip book with 2 stories. Radioactive Man cover was an homage to Steranko's Nick Fury 1. Hell yeah. Bueller says, the first was Savage Dragon 225. I just love the cover, so I read it. I'm assuming that's your first when you came back, is what you're saying. Hey, Mark from Geeks Unleashed says, first comic was Radioactive Man 1, although I didn't get into comics for a few years later. Can't recall what I picked up, but it was Clone Saga and Marvel vs. DC at the time. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, Weezer and Modest Mouth. Mouse, not Mouth. Steph says, Modest Mouse is one of the few bands I've seen live. I've never seen them live. They were actually just here in town, but I skipped out on it, but I'll definitely see them with Weezer. Hey, what's up, Don? How are you doing? Don says, ElfQuest in the late 80s hooked me, and my friend introduced me to the black and white TMNT at the same time. Bruh, so lucky. I didn't know really about that stuff till way later. Like, I knew about the Turtles because of the animated series and the toys, but I'd never gotten to the comic until way after the fact. I would have loved to have had, imagine what it would have been like if I would have been reading Frank. I mean, I did start reading Frank Miller at an earlier age, but I wasn't reading the 80s Frank Miller stuff. The first Frank Miller I ever read was Sin City, I'm pretty sure. Well, it's probably Batman Year One, actually. And Preston says, first comic I recall reading was an 80-page giant Flash that reprinted A Flash of Two Worlds. Gardner Fox should be better remembered today. Yes, I agree. Excuse me. Joe says, have you been reading comics since the 80s? You should do a ranking of the decades of comics you've read. I have been reading. I've been reading since 1986. Now, I have read a lot of comics from the 60s as well, because, I mean, a lot of Marvel comics from the 60s, I should say, I guess. Read some stuff from the 50s. I could do a ranking of the decades of comics, though. But as far as when I've been alive, that's tough. That's tough. Okay. So 80s, 90s, aughts, teens, right? Those are the 4 decades that I've been reading comics. So let's that's what we're going to focus on, right? I would rank number 4, the 2000 teens. I would rank number 2, the aughts. I would rank at number 2, or at number 3 would be the aughts. At number 2 would be the 80s. And at number 1 would be the 90s. Now, I probably just say that because in 1990, I turned like 9 years old, right? And I graduate high school in 1999. So that is like very formative, right? And I love comics from the 90s. The boom, the fall, and then the focus on good stuff. And the 90s gets a bad reputation, I think, nowadays, but it is one of the best decades of comics because it gave us Vertigo, which gave us books like Preacher, right? And just think about the 90s. You got Sandman, Preacher, the start of Planetary and the Authority. You got Transmetropolitan. You've got Astro City. You got Marvels. You got Kingdom Come. And yes, you got big tentpole events that had an impact. Marvel vs. DC, Death of Superman, the launch of Image, those first 20 issues of Spawn, the initial Savage Dragon miniseries, things like that are absolutely phenomenal. The 90s were a banging time for comics. Kurt Busiek and George Perez on the Avengers at the tail end there. Tom DeFalco and Paul Ryan on Fantastic Four. Some of the best, most consistent 90 comics you're ever going to read. The 90s are my favorite decade of comics. That's why we like doing our bits in the 90s. So there you go. I know I'm not doing a Marvel in the 90s tonight, so I just want to keep doing the in the 90s. In fact, this one is for Jay. Marvel in the 90s. All right, we're not really doing it, though. So anyway, moving on with the conversation. Now that I think of this, Mad Magazine counts as a comic. Before Marvel or DC, I never missed an issue of Mad. That puts a spin on things. I may have read a Mad Magazine before I read that DC Comics. I don't remember a time where I wasn't reading Mad Magazine when I was a kid. Don't have any of them now, but I do actually have like the first 20-something issues. All the Harvey Kurtzman stuff. I have those, like reprints of them. I don't have the actual ones. Reprints of them, and I've been planning on diving into those soon. I want to create a bit here that's like Mad Magazine in the 50s. You know, I want to do that, and it's like I got the EC stuff that they do. I am a huge, huge EC fan. Easy Reader says, one of my favorite arcs was Avengers Kree-Skrull War. I cannot talk. Avengers Kree-Skrull War. Absolutely. Sal says, yeah, my parents had a subscription to Mad Magazine. Always crazy to flip through. Steph says, Gummy Bears went hard. Oh, it just dropped out on me. Nah, Wishbone was not quite my dig. What do you think about Daredevil ending soon? I haven't heard that news yet. But it definitely feels like it's coming to a head for Chip Zdarsky. I feel like momentum was lost because of Devil's Reign, but it's been picked back up for me at least. Lars says, when it comes to the Bronze Age, Batman by Steve Englehart and Marshall Rogers Jokerfish. You and Joe Corallo should be friends. Have you ever created your own comic? If not, why? No, I haven't. It's hard to make a comic. I'd like to. I got some stuff in the works as we speak. I mentioned this last week when we had Mark Spears popping in. I am actively working with an artist on a comic. I have edited a comic called Black Spec, and that's out there in the wild too. And I helped develop that whole story and the themes and stuff. But so yeah, that's really all I've done. And I got things I want to do, but I am actively working on something right now. Melodope, what is up? Dr. Nitrogen's Musical Empire, 2000 AD with Judge Dredd and the Justice League were my first comics here in the UK. Justice League of America, original series, 1980s. Yeah, the 80s stuff is great. Fable says, I agree, 90s for me. Ouroboros loves the 90s. OUG says, yeah, 90s agreed. See, the 90s gets shit on all the time for comics, and look how many of us love the 90s. Peter David on the Hulk was amazing, I agree. You could argue that the 70s is the best decade when it comes to European comics. Maybe, but I'm not as what's the word? I am not as well versed in European comics or even Japanese comics at all. I am severely lacking when it comes to that. I am just now in the last year or two starting to get some Mobius stuff and appreciating that. I had been reading 2000 AD for a while, but it's mostly like Judge Dredd stuff. I was reading 2000 AD and some of those like UK comics because some of my favorite creators did their work there, like Grant Morrison, who did Zenith, right? Warren Ellis, was from that era, and Garth Ennis and Neil Gaiman and Alan Moore and Pete Milligan and Mark Miller, and even so, like lots of my favorite creators from that era. But I'm severely lacking in knowledge when it comes to like Spanish comics or Italian comics or French comics, which are a really big deal. Like I haven't even read Persepolis yet, right? Is that what it's called? Persepolis? Yeah. And then what's the one with the V? V something. They did a movie. I don't remember. It's like a V something. Did Luc Besson do a movie? I don't know. I like French film, but I've never really dived into French comics. Same thing with Italian film. I love Italian film. Big mark for Argento, Fellini, Fulci, things like that. Leone, but I've never really dived into Italian comics. But I know that French comics are in particular supposed to be. What are some French comics to read, y'all? Let me know. I'll do it. Come on, let's do it. Steph says maybe early 2000s for me, but 90s was probably second. Early 2000s is good. Early 2000s is good. Joe says, in your opinion, how would you rank this 90s greatness? Comics, wrestling, sports, music, movies. I love the 90s. All right, number one. Okay, let me think about this. So that's 5 things. Ooh. That's tough because I love 90s comics, 90s wrestling, 90s sports, 90s music, and 90s movies. All right. Movies would be at the bottom of the list. I like the 90s movies. There's some really important movies in the 90s. The Matrix, Jurassic Park, Heat. Some really good movies. But other decades slaughtered the 90s for me, right? So I'll say at number 5, 90s movies. At number 4, 90s sports. Love 90s sports. Jordan, right? The tail end of the career of Magic Johnson with the Lakers. The rise of the Kobe Bryant and Shaq era, right? But Michael Jordan, right? And then the domination of the Cowboys. Of course I love 90s sports. And the Yankees start their whole shit, And I was also a Braves fan, so the 90s sports at number 4. At number 3, 90s wrestling. 90s wrestling, whether it's the earlier stuff with Macho Man, Ultimate Warrior, Hulk Hogan, Earthquake. I remember all that. Was that maybe Earthquake's the late 80s? But 90s wrestling in the early part, then I lose focus in the middle of it. But then you got like Shawn Michaels, you got Bret, the Hitman Hart, stuff like that building up. Oh my goodness, I loved all that stuff. But then the Attitude Era. Come on, y'all. Watching Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Undertaker, Mankind, The Rock, my favorite wrestler of all time, The Rock. Like, that's my jam. So at number 3, I would go that. At number 2, I would go the comics. Number 2, 90s comics. We've talked a lot about that already. But at number 1, 90s music, y'all. I love 90s music. In fact, I consistently annoy the staff at the comic shop all the time because I have a playlist that's the store safe, appropriate, and official playlist. And this is the one. And it's got tons of stuff on there. There's a lot of 90s stuff on there because I love the 90s. We got TLC. We got Usher. We got what? We got with like I'm trying not to sound like a bro. Why did I think of Dave Matthews Band first? Smashing Pumpkins, Bush, Live, Green Day, Oasis, Blur. Like these are like 311. These are Weezer. These are some of my favorite bands. So the 90s for sure. At number 1, I got music. So to recap, rating these things from the 90s. Number 5, movies. Number 4, sports. Number 3, wrestling. I might switch wrestling and sports. Yeah. Number 5, movies. Number 4, wrestling. Number 3, sports. Number 2, comics. Number 1, music. My favorite thing about the 90s is the music, I guess. Scree War. I like it. Yeah, that's the next thing. Yo, have you seen the... I know you've heard about the Cree, but have you heard about the Scree? I'm not the biggest Papa Roach fan, But when it first came out, I thought that was some deep shit. Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort. Suffocation, no breathing. Don't give a fuck if I cut my arms bleeding. It's embarrassing that I still know all that shit. Valerian, thank you. Thank you. Valerian. Yeah, never read it. Heard it's good. Looks cool. I've seen it. Luc Besson just announced his new music. Oh, okay. The 90s were a great decade. Vertigo, Dark Horse, and then Jim Valentino took charge at Image. Yes. Oh, yeah, and Dark Horse, like with the Maverick line and the Legend line. Like, that's some good stuff. Peter David, Aquaman. Messner Loeb on Wonder Woman, Triangle Year, Superman. Dixon on Batman, Mars, Lantern. Yeah, 90s were super. DC was more solid, I think, consistently through the 90s than Marvel. But Marvel got all the sales, it seemed like. Din 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 says, Akira got me into comics in the 90s. They were hard to find in the U.S. pre-internet, so I had to read them all out of order over several years. We had just gotten a collection of the epic Akira books with the colors, and man, I want them so bad, and I can't afford them. Because I prefer the black and white, but the Steve Olive covers are something uniquely special, and they're the only way to get them, man. God, we used to read those at our library, and then some asshole just checked them out and never brought them back. All right, I had to drop down on, unfortunately. Leaving out Limp Bizkit, though. Man, do not even... I almost just busted out into a Limp Bizkit song. And that's the danger of Rockin Robbie Live. Is that sometimes that happens. And we don't want to do that. Do we? Yeah, we don't want to do that. I'm trying. I almost really busted out some Limp Bizkit. Psycho female blowing up the phone lines. You need to tighten that screw. It's been loose for a long time. I've been slaying with some bad luck. Soon I'm gonna bring you doom with a buck. Okay, that's enough. Sorry. Rearrange. That's not my favorite Limp Bizkit song at all. Biggie, Pac, all the Death Row No Limit shit. Yeah, don't even let me forget about that. You know what my favorite No Limit shit was, man? No lie. Silk the Shocker. I still think Made Man is a fantastic album. Also mystical in that era. Ghetto Fabulous. Love that album. That's the rapper. And the Mystical's got a song on the Blade soundtrack. Blade. It's called Edge of the Blade. The Blade soundtrack is one of my favorite things from the 90s. Verno, thank you for mentioning 90s rap. Because how can I even... You know what I'm saying? To the one on the flam, boy, your temper just toss that ham in the frying pan like spam. Get done when I come and slam. Damn, I feel like the son of Sam. Come on, you know what that is. That's Insane in the Brain. Well, I'm creeping. But I damn near got capped, cause my beeper kept beeping. Now it's time for me to make my impression felt. So sit back, relax, and strap on your seatbelt. You never been on a ride like this before. With a producer who can rap and control the maestro. At the same time, with the dope rhymes that I kick, you know and I know I pull some more gangster shit to add to my collection. This selection symbolizes dope. Take a toke, but don't choke. If you do, you have no clue of what me and my homie Snoop Dogg came to do. It's like that and like this and like that, and y'all need to come karaoke with me. Bone Thugs, yeah. Why am I trying to rap Limp Bizkit? From the depths of the sea, back to the black Snoop Doggy Dogg croaking with up the dog. Went solo on that ass, but it's still the same. Long Beach is the site where I serve my team. Follow me, but don't lose your grip. Non-drizz ain't there is it for me to fuck up shit. So I ain't holding nothing back. And motherfucker, I got 5 on the 20 sack. It's like that, and as a matter of fact, cause I never hesitate to put a fool on his back. Ah, man. Why y'all get me going? Can't talk 90s rap without Nas. Joe Corallo. All I need is one mic. Come on. If I rule the world, I free all my sons. Love them, baby. Black diamonds and pearls. Imagine that. If I even like shit like Nostradamus, bruh. I'm a Nas fan. I was listening to some Nas. Me and Jay Strake were listening to some Nas the other day. Because we started a bit. Because I was like, what you know about fucking Nas, bruh? I was there. Because one time, he was stretching on me. Because he was listening to some Nas. I was like, Nas. And he goes, what you know about Nas? And I was like, what the fuck you know about Nas? Strickland's 10 years younger than me. I was like, what the fuck you know about Nas? I was there. I had Illmatic. I had It Was Written. Hey, like I said, even like Nostradamus and I Am. You remember when he got P. Diddy? You can hate me now, but you won't stop now. That's some of my favorite Puff Daddy stuff because he's just like screaming, just going on, man. Love it. Love it. Happy to see you, Joe. Hope you're doing good, man. My thoughts are with you, bro. All I wanted was a Pepsi, just one Pepsi, far from suicidal, but still I got them tendencies, bringing up the memories that I really miss when I reminisce, rocking back in the 80s. What's going on? What's going on tonight? What's going on? Keep them going. We're going long tonight. The Fugees, oh my God. Ready or not, here we come. You can't hide. I'm gonna find you and take it slowly. Fuji, it's the way that we Fuji, Method Man. All right, that's okay. Lauryn Hill, Onyx, Slam. Da 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 da. Let the boys be boys. All right, y'all, we can't keep doing this. DC's got books out this week. I read them. Here's your DC sneak peek. Man, I really could have just kept doing that, man. I just could have kept going and on. And we need to just have, we just need to have request hour one night. Be like, hey, name an 80s song, a 90s song. Robbie knows that he's going to talk about it. All right, DC Universe, Lazarus Planet, Revenge of the Gods, #1. That's right. Just when you thought it was over, it's not. More Lazarus Planet, but this time it's not a series of one-shots. It's a 4-issue miniseries. Why not? So the lead story is by G. Willow Wilson, and it is actually pretty good. It's basically all the gods, and this is something that's been set up already in Lazarus Planet one-shots. All the gods, whether they're the Greek gods or the Viking gods or the Japanese gods or anything like that, they are nearing death because people don't believe in them anymore. They don't worship them, and they are attacking humanity to put the fear of the gods back into them, right? And that's cool. And then it's like, to be continued to Wonder Woman. I'm like, wait a second. This is #1 of a 4-issue series? Why Wonder Woman? What are you trying to... What? Huh? And then there was a backup story in here that I didn't really like. So the main story was actually pretty decent, but I just didn't like that it continues into a Wonder Woman, which I'm not reading. Batman Incorporated, issue #6. Yeah, I was really confused. I thought this was just a 6-issue series. And I was really confused when it seemed like issue 5 was the end of an arc. But issue 6 is the beginning of a new arc. And it's awesome. I'm loving what Ed Brisson is doing in the pages of Batman Incorporated. This is some really good stuff, tying in heavily to stuff set up by Tynion and Morrison. You got Professor Pig. Someone has stolen from him, and he's tearing ass through Gotham. So Peacemaker and Batman Incorporated have to go in. This book is doing great work with Peacemaker, Clown Hunter, and every member of Batman Incorporated. We got a different artist here, Bandini, but it's still super kinetic, and it works. Then we got Wildcats, issue #5. I'm still liking Wildcats. There's certain things that I'm not digging about it, mostly involving its insistence on placing themselves firmly into the DC universe. I just don't like that. So, for instance, you got a Superman appearance in here, and you got a little bit of a Superman Mr. Majestic thing, and Mr. Majestic just wasted. There was way better. I mean, Mr. Majestic, this is not the character. And some of these characters are acting way off base, but I appreciate the new interpretations of them. There's some interesting things going on, interesting enough that I trust Matthew Rosenberg to see where he's going to lead me in this series. But then we get some Superman versus Spartan action, and we get just a tiny bit of it, but man, I really freaking like that stuff. So I'm enjoying this Wildcats. It's not as good as the Joe Casey stuff or the Alan Moore stuff, but it's definitely better than most of the other stuff. I just wish it wasn't so firmly rooted in the DC universe. Then we got Multiversity. Harley Quinn screws up the DCU. This one's all right. First of all, I want to point out that this has almost like a newsprint. You hear that texture? Oh my God, it smells so good. This is probably going to get smell of the week. It's kind of newsprinty. And I really like it for that. That being said, the story's good. If you like that overly ridiculous and silly Harley, the stuff that's more like Deadpool, that's the Harley you're getting here. It's written by Frank Thierry, who I love because he's a New York Yankees fan. That being said, it was decent, not necessarily quite my cup of tea, because I like Harley when there's a little bit more, sophistication's the wrong word, but I just don't like when it's so like overly like ridiculous and dumb and silly and like purposefully dumb, but it's still fun. So if you're a Harley fan, especially if you like Harley and the Legion of Harleys or whatever it was, you definitely want to check that one out. But don't be fooled by the Multiversity logo thinking that this is something tied into the Grant Morrison stuff at all. Then we got Danger Street issue number 4, a contender for cover of the week. Love that cover. And I actually really like this book. So Tom King, Jorge Fornes, they're taking these characters from the DC first issue specials, these very D-list DC characters, and they're putting a narrative together around them. And there's an interesting dynamic that's being explored. And I'm loving the artwork. The artwork is so freaking solid in this book. And the writing is good. Tom King is not going overly verbose, unnecessarily so. He's not blatantly describing through dialogue or narration captions like what's going on. He's letting the art do the work. And I'm liking this book. It's got some new gods action. You know, issue 1 I thought was decent. Issue 2 I didn't. 3 blew me away. 4 continues that momentum. So I'm liking Danger Street right now. I think it's pretty solid. Then we got Superman Lost, a brand new number 1. It's a 10-issue miniseries written by Christopher Priest with artwork by Carlos Paculian. I messed that up. Anyway, this one's all right. It's decent. It's cool. The artwork's cool. Feels a little bit static at times. The basic premise is this. Something happens to Superman on a mission with the Justice League where he becomes lost in another dimension or something for like 20 years. This is all set up to get there. It feels a bit clunky, but there's nothing really being tweaked with the structure yet. But knowing Christopher Priest's work, there's going to be some structure fucking with throughout these 10 issues, and I'm rather excited to see what's going to happen. This isn't a game changer. It's not going to change your life, but it was a decent start to a new Superman miniseries. But then we got the best DC book I read this week, Justice Society of America, issue number 3. Jeff Johns is back at the top of his game. Like 100%. Jeff Johns has always been a great comic book writer. He's going to be at MegaCon. Maybe I need to say what's up to him. Be like, hey man, you remember me? I met you in 2002 in Chicago. I ate breakfast next to you and Tom Brevoort at a McDonald's. And then he'll be like, who are you? And then I'll be like devastated. So I'm not going to approach him that way. But I did meet Jeff Johns back in the day. I ate breakfast next to him at a McDonald's. He was with Tom Brevoort. Anyway, something has happened when he came back out of DC Films. All that, DC Films became kind of a fiasco. He kind of got scapegoated a little bit, I think. And then he came back and he did Doomsday Clock and he was refocusing on comics. And he's been doing that over the last few years. And I think he's putting out some of his best work. Geiger, Junkyard Joe, Justice Society of America. Now he's already got a long, extended run on this book. He's already said everything he needs to say about the Justice Society. So why can he come in for a third time and completely captivate me? Completely engage me in a story that doesn't just take place in the present day with the JSA, but in the past with some nice Jerry Ordway artwork and in the future. This is awesome. It's got ties into Flashpoint Beyond. It's got ties into his previous JSA work. It's got ties into the Golden Age. Got ties into a future that he's kind of creating, right? This is awesome. This is a great book. So to recap, JSA slapped. Superman Lost was pretty decent. Danger Street was really solid. Multiversity Harley screws up the DCU was fun. Smell of the week, though. Wildcats, it's not the greatest, but I am digging it. Batman Incorporated is freaking fantastic. And then Lazarus Planet, it was aight. And that has been your DC Sneak Peek. Hit the wrong button right there. All right. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, Scream 6 spoiler-free movie review, a VHS unboxing from our friend Verno over at Blood Splatter Chatter. All that and more here on Rockin Robbie Live. We'll be right back, y'all.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game, win it life, have no shame, there's no time, feel the pain, live the grind, I could change, in my mind, pick a lane, commit and climb, the only way to win it life, I never miss that fact, taking big swings, bitch, hand me the bat, put me in the ring, you'll go out in a bag, cause I sing what I mean and I bring it to the mad light. Ain't got time to kill, I got time to feel. I took the red pill, I know life's short so I wanna live real. But how's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel? They wanna say my name, but they holding back. They wanna say they hate, but they know it's cap. I ain't play no games, I just do that's fact. And I don't feel no shame, it's a mood you lack. I go crazy, nah bitch I ain't lazy. Track after track, I work on this shit daily. Pass me the jack, right as fuel, got me hazy. About to unpack all these things I've been chasing. I've got visions in my head, like memories after death. To be a legend instead of something you can forget. I'm living up every breath, I'd rather lead than be led. I'll fill the seeds as I spread with every word that I've said. How's it supposed to feel? How's it supposed to feel?
Hey there, Dynamite fans. Come join us here at The Experience this Monday, March 13th at 6 p.m. Eastern, our usual time. We're going to have some fresh Dynamite books, all your favorite Marvel and DC titles, and hopefully everyone will be here. And by everyone, I mean Rex and John, because he's the one who's always missing lately. But no matter what, it's going to be a great show. So remember, come join us on The Experience, March 13th, 6 p.m. Eastern. See you then.
Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie Live.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Rockin Robbie Live here on Pop Culture Philosophers. I am your host, Rockin Robbie Billups. How is everybody doing? We've had a great show already. We did the DC sneak peek. We were talking about the first comics we ever read. We even did the first 5. And that's pretty much it, but we still got some fun stuff to talk about. We got a great show still planned. We're going to be talking about Scream 6 in a non-spoiler review. That's coming up. Then we're going to be unboxing a box of VHS tapes that I've gotten from my homie Verno from Blood Splatter Chatter, also from Dylan's Horror Show. Very excited. And here's your real sneak peek. I'm not saying that I got it all figured out, and I'm not saying that I won't be surprised. But I'm pretty certain that Multiversity Harley screws up the DCU is going to be your smell of the week. I am fairly certain that Danger Street issue number 4, right? Yes, issue number 4 is going to be your cover of the week. And I am beyond certain that the pick of the week is going to be Agent of World number 4. The conclusion of the series, for now, by Dennis Camp, Thilya Bertukin, Jason Wordy, Hassan Osman El Howe, and let me just, if you don't believe me, look at this book. This is one of the absolute best comics of all time. I love it. Definitely worth your money. Projected pick of the week. Projected cover of the week. Projected smell of the week. There you go. We'll see what actually shakes out, right? Visit BlackBox Comics and enter PCP10 for 10% of all of your purchases. Go to dynamicforces.com. You can enter code Robbie. Enter Robbie at the checkout as your code. You'll get 10% off of that. You can follow me on Twitter at @TheRockinRobbie. You can join the PCP Army over on Facebook. It's the official Pop Culture Philosophers Facebook group. You can also follow us on Facebook. We don't do much there. It's mostly in the PCP Army. But you can also follow us on Instagram, where I do share stuff there occasionally. It's always super fun. Sometimes I even go live. You can support us at patreon.com/PCP, like these fine PCP patrons right there. You can also support us with Super Chat, which will trigger a Joker video, but I get it. Got enough rapping. Got enough singing for me. In fact, though, I'll tell you what. For Super Chats right now, I'll take requests. It's kind of like that. I'm just saying. Just saying. You know, I got MegaCon coming up. I could use it. Anyway, very excited for MegaCon. I'm going to be meeting Frank Miller. It's going to be awesome. Find podcasts and more at popculturephilosophers.com. We also got a Shopify account with Dynamic Forces. That helps support the channel. There's some great stuff there. All those links and more in the description below. Plus, got a Kickstarter going right now if you want to support the channel. Dynamite is releasing, with Cullen Bunn and Blackie Shepherd, a new Reanimator original comic book, and one of the variant covers is a Rockin Robbie cover. That's right. Blackie Shepherd has drawn me as one of the reanimated dead, with Herbert West behind me, controlling me. And yes, it's a dream come true. You can check that out at the link pinned at the top of the chat, in the description, or right there where I just dropped it again. Coming up here at PCP, March Madness rolls on through tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Central Time as we unpack Dressed to Kill. Then Dylan's Horror Show Saturday night. We're going to be talking about Triangle. We'll also be doing a show Thursday night about Scream 6 in a spoiler-filled way. But tomorrow, after my show at the EXP and before PCP Movie Night, be sure to check out Scarpat Sci-Fi Sojourns, where they're going to be talking about Westworld. Good stuff. And here's the March Madness lineup once again, in case you just want to see him again. All right, everybody, and here we go. How is everybody doing? See a lot of people talking about stuff. Ganja Bar's Medium, what is up? I've been loving G. Willow Wilson's writing on so much on Poison Ivy. I went and bought her first appearance. Oh, man, awesome. One of my favorite characters, to be honest. Well, that's definitely a first appearance you want. Speaking of first appearances of Poison Ivy, you should check out Rockin Robbie Live last week if you missed it. We did Batman, and we did that on the first Poison Ivy episode, which is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. All right, y'all, we're about to get into it. No spoilers here, but some people don't even want to know opinions, and that's fine, and I respect that. But right now, here is your warning. I am not going to spoil Scream 6, but I'm about to talk about Scream 6. Spoiler free, let's talk about it. Scream 6. First of all, my favorite thing about Scream 6 is I haven't been to the movie theater since November when I went and saw Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So I haven't been to the theater since November. That was a great experience, right? I also hadn't been to see a movie completely by myself in a long time. So I went and watched this movie by myself, and I am 100% in love with the theater experience still. I absolutely love it. Got my popcorn. I got Sour Patch Kids and a peach Sprite Zero. That's my current thing. When I was a kid, it was always Cherry Coke and Twizzlers. Occasionally, I still do that. But right now, it's Sour Patch Kids and a peach Sprite Zero. How time changes. But what did I think about the movie? I thought it was all right. I thought it was pretty good, actually. I got some issues with it, but I did like it. I actually think my initial response to this one is better than my response to Scream 5. I didn't really like Scream 5 very much when it first came out, right? It kind of grew on me a little bit when I rewatched it for our franchise review of Scream last year for Horror Fest on PCP Movie Night. But now we got a new Ghostface, or new ghost faces. You know how it goes with Scream, right? In typical Scream fashion, I always pick at least one of the killers. I did so in this one, so I'm always proud of myself for that one. But the Ghostface in this one, here's some stuff I liked. What I liked is the Ghostface in this movie, first of all, has a really, probably the best costume. This old, weathered mask. They're totally trying to riff and on the I guess the Michael Myers mask from the recent Halloween trilogy, which I'm not necessarily that big of a fan of, but they're kind of doing something with the mask akin to that. Plus, I feel like we say this almost every movie or every time we rewatch it, but this does feel to me like the most visceral Ghostface we've gotten, right? Like, and I really do appreciate that. The movements and everything. And this is a Ghostface, as we saw in the trailer, not afraid to use a shotgun, which is not something new to the franchise because dreamy Timothy Olyphant in Scream 2 wound up using a shotgun or a gun, but I really like Ghostface in here. I like the ramp up that happens here. It's got one of my favorite openings in a Scream movie. It's probably got the best opening outside of one. Ghostface slaps in this movie. Characters. All right, Jenna Ortega. Her character, I think it's Tara. I hated her in the last movie. I didn't mind her in this one. Okay? The niece and the nephew, right, of Randy, right? I didn't really like them in the last one. I liked them in this one, especially dude, I can't even remember his name. But the main character of Sarah really works for me here. I hated her in Scream 5. I really loved her in Scream 6. She gives the best performance in the entire movie. So they bring back Hayden Panettiere, who was Kirby in Scream 4. They retroactively brought her back from the dead. And she's fine. It's nice to see some legacy characters with her, but they kind of waste her just a little bit. But the core four there, I like Tara enough. I like this. Like, I hated these four characters in the last Scream movie, but I actually really liked the characters here. And then, of course, you got Courtney Cox playing Gale Weathers again. And I thought they used it fine. She wasn't in the movie quite enough, but she had one really standout scene that I did really like. So this movie takes place in New York. Another one of my favorite actors, by the way, is the dude standing right next to Sarah right there. Don't know the character's name. Don't know the actor's name, but he is awesome in this movie, and he's my second favorite character. I don't know, but these three that you see there, those are my three favorite characters. But Ghostface is nice. Of course, the voice of Ghostface always slaps. This movie takes place in New York. It does feel like it takes place in New York, mostly on a college campus, kind of a spiritual successor to Scream 2. It has a lot of vibes from Scream 2, actually. A lot of callbacks to all of the previous Scream movies. I appreciated that. It's something for us legacy fans, but it also was building something new with these characters and actually evolving these characters. But as far as the New York atmosphere, I would say that the biggest scene that really makes you feel like you're in New York is the subway scene. And I thought that was an incredibly well done scene. Ghostface was pretty good. And I liked it. I liked this movie pretty much for the most part. So here's what I didn't like about the movie. What I didn't like about the movie is pretty much the third act. Once the reveal happens, and the reveal is fine. Love the reveal, it's fine. And every Scream movie does this. Me and Verno were talking about this. Every Scream movie gets really campy at the end. Like when the killer pulls out the mask, they're like, all of a sudden, somebody who throughout the whole movie's been like, da, 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 da. All of a sudden they're like, ah! But they all do that, right? Billy did that. Billy and Stu were like that straight up. Mickey, is it Mickey or Mikey? It's Mickey, right? Mickey, Timothy Olyphant's character, 100%. Roman in Scream 3. By the way, these are all spoilers for Scream 1, 2, and 3. I love that, though. I do like that. They really go over. They really ham it the fuck up in Scream 6. And that's where it falters for me, is there. So it's not an expert film, but for the most part, I liked it. And I liked it more than Part 5. It stepped up. It stepped up the game, and I was really with that. And it has a great opening. It's one of my favorite Scream openings. I like the opening of 4, but it's a bit redundant at times. I guess, the opening of 3, but in hindsight, I just don't like how that ends. But Scream 3 has a really good opening too. Scream 5's opening is all right. Scream 2's opening is dope. The movie theater, I love that opening. But Scream 1 will still have the best opening ever, right? But I like how Scream 6 was trying to subvert some of my expectations, and I appreciated that. But when you get to the very end of the movie, it's like the last 15 minutes, man. I'm just like, this is dumb as shit. And there's still elements in it that I can't really fully tell you why I don't like certain things about this movie until we're talking about it on Dylan's Horror Show this Thursday night. And if for some reason Dylan can't do it, we're going to do it here. We're going to do it. We're going to do the spoiler talk for Scream 6. So that being said, I liked it better than Part 5. I thought it was good. I like it. I think it's better than 5. I think it's better than 3. 3 to me is still the worst. It's not as good as 4 or 2 or 1, but I liked it. I enjoyed watching it, and as dumb as I thought the last 15 minutes of the movie was, I'm still on board. So I'm going to give it, for Scream 6, 3.5 out of 5 ya digs. If you checked out Scream 6, let me know. What did you rate it? Out of 5 ya digs? I go 3.5. How about you? All right, we're done with the Scream review, but that is my non-spoiler review. But I am going to look at the comments, see what people said. Ghostface is the main villain, spoiler alert. How can you enjoy a movie in a theater when half the viewers are texting all movie long? Effing impossible to enjoy a movie today. I'm lucky, GT Key Comic. That doesn't happen to me, but I don't go at busy times. I know a lot of people like the theater experience for the audience. I don't give a shit. I mean, honestly, I've had fun with it was fun. Everybody in the audience was having fun. I get that. That to me is not part of the experience. I intentionally go to one of the least populated movie theaters in my town, and I intentionally go, I saw Scream 6 at 3:50 in the afternoon. So I knew there weren't going to be a lot of people. There's 20 people in the theater. I like that. So I get my audience reaction, but I don't have all the distractions. People bring their kids. They're screaming. I understand. I understand it's hard. I understand. Can't find a babysitter. You want to go see the movie. I understand. Don't bring a baby to a movie. Come on. Right. Ganja Bars Medium says, I'm so getting that Rockin Robbie cover. Once again, there's the link if you want to get your very own Rockin Robbie drawn for the first time in a comic book on the cover. It's not in, but it's on the cover. I got my own exclusive Reanimator cover for Dynamite, and that's available right now on Kickstarter. The book's almost funded, and I'm going to tell you this. They've got some stretch goals in mind. I don't think I'm allowed to mention what it is yet, but there is something that is a stretch goal that if you're a fan of me, and you might want to check it out. Just going to say. Where is it at right now? Let's see. So, H.P. Lovecraft's Reanimator, The Eternal Lie Part 2, because this is the second part. So right now, we got 4,500 pledged of what we're trying to get, which is 6,666. So we're almost there. We're about 2/3 of the way there, maybe a little bit over, and we still got 26 days to go. But it's going to be good, and we are planning on getting Cullen Bunn and Blackie Shepherd on the show at some point to talk about it. Call of Duty Ghostface? I don't know. I don't even know what that means, Melodope. What's a Call of Duty? Evil Face Bad says, Scream had one good movie, and that was the first one. The rest helped me relieve constipation. To each their own, man. Ghostface could be a Batman villain. Yeah, should be. He's got a Ghostface cave in this one. Scarpat says, I got a blue moon and a hot dog when he watched the movie. What are you all talking about? All right, that Geek Mark says, I loved this movie. Proves it doesn't need Sydney. I love that Kirby is back. I feel like they wasted Kirby, but I did miss Sydney, but I don't think she had a place in this story, actually. And I think that if she returns in Scream 7, that would be awesome. Scarpat said, I initially said better than 5, but I may have backed off on that a little bit. I had way more fun watching 6 than I did 5. I hated 5 at first. If you want to remember my initial really hard thoughts on that, check out Dylan's horror show we did last year. I would say the main girl's performance immensely helps the movie. Yes. Samantha, not Sarah, Samantha. That's her name. Samantha's great. Great. I kept calling her Sarah. That means when I clip that bit out, everyone's going to be like, the main character's name is Samantha. It was like today when Rom kept saying Normie instead of Dylan. It just happens. We know what we're talking about. Scarpat says, moving the location of the film really helped because it helps set pieces. Well, they've done that before. They're in Woodsboro it's Woodsboro, right? They're there in 1. They go to college in 2. They're in Hollywood in 3. They go back to Woodsboro in 4 and in 5. So it is nice to move it. So you only liked it slightly better than the Black Cat. Look, I was being very forgiving of the Black Cat last night, bruh, okay? I was being very forgiving. That movie's a 2, okay? Let's be honest. Hey, Lost in Comics. What's up, Chris? How you doing, man? Great show with Declan Shalvey, by the way. And y'all need to check out Lost in Comics this upcoming Thursday night because he's got Michael Morisi on the channel. Very excited for that conversation. Tell him I said what's up and to call me. Scarpat says, I agree, the last act is whack. GT says, I watched a movie during matinee hours and there was a movie blogger doing a live cell phone, Instagram, YouTube type review during the movie. I went nuts. Did you let the theater know? They need to kick that asshole out. That's some bullshit, man. You got to do one of those 1.5 fucking outside the movie theater things. I almost thought about doing that. I almost thought about doing that. No Sydney and no Rocky show sequels don't need their leading man. You know, I still haven't seen those Creed movies because I was up there and I was like, you know what? Maybe I should watch another movie because I still haven't seen Ant-Man. And I was like, maybe I should watch Creed or Ant-Man. I still need to watch Ant-Man. I don't know. Scarpad had a couple. I guess I had a better theater experience than y'all. I'm sorry. Oh, Michael's a dream. Chris says, I will tell him. Looking forward to talking with him. It seems like he's got a little more serious tone from what I've seen. I'm going to make him laugh. Yes, you are. He's a really cool guy. I would say check out the show that we did with him, but that was one of my most disappointing shows ever because his internet wasn't working very well and he was in and out and this and that. And yeah. So we need to get him back. It was actually less than an hour because I was like, we got to get through this, man. But it was right before Barbaric came out and I love Michael, and me and him have chatted, and he's a cool dude, and he's got a great sense of humor. He's got excellent taste. He loves movies, right? Get him talking about horror movies. Get him talking about film in general. He's a big cinephile. Ask him what his most recent Criterion pickup was. He'll go off. He'll just go. You'll see him light the fuck up, man. And he ain't that serious. You've read Barbaric. You've read Wasted Space, right? Come on, man. He's a great dude, man. Michael's awesome. Have you ever read his book, We Are Mayhem and Black Star Renegades? Well, Black Star Renegades is the first one. We Are Mayhem is the second one. It's basically a blatant Star Wars kind of ripoff, but they are really, really good. Really good. Scarpat been waiting on this segment. Yeah, but no spoilers, man. No spoilers. Lost says, Creed 3 was good, but not as good as the first two, in my opinion. Well, I mean, I would say the same about Rocky 3. Wouldn't we? But I haven't seen any of the Creed movies. That being said, in April, for PCP Movie Night, we're doing the Rocky franchise, and everybody keeps telling me, do Creed. I'm like, bruh, it's going to be hard enough for us to fit in 6 Rocky movies over the next month and a half, so we're going to save that till later. Do you think Jenna Ortega will be typecasted? Heard rumors she will be in Beetlejuice 2. Comics Joe, I believe she's being typecasted right now. So now's the time if she doesn't want to be, but you also at the same time got to take the gigs you're going to get, right? You know what I'm saying? But if you want to know more of my full spoilery thoughts on Scream 6, check out the Dylan's Horror Show that we're doing Thursday night. All right, speaking of Dylan's Horror Show, my buddy Blood Splatter Chatter Verno sent me this giant box. It's rather heavy. So this is a giant box filled with VHS tapes that Verno's been collecting up for me for a good long while now. And he sent a bunch of them. Let me get this open and we'll start pulling out of it. All right, Verno, first of all, excellent job packing. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Let's see. Melodope says, in her roles, or in her interviews, she says she loves those roles. Talking about Jenna Ortega. So Chris says, taking notes, good stuff. I haven't read either. Barbaric and the Joneses have been my only Morrissey experience. Oh, man, you got to read Wasted Space. Wasted Space is one of the greatest comics of the last 10 years. Hey, what's up, Bob? How you doing? Station Bullseye Bob. Good to see you, man. I know you're jealous because me and Bueller are going to be hanging out at the end of the month, but you're going to be there in spirit with us, bro. I still got to make it out to the Northwest. All right, we got a box of VHSs from Verno, so let's just dive in. Down Periscope, man. Holy cow. That's awesome. Oh, dude. Eraser. Love it. One of the bonuses is whenever you get one that has the sticker, like this like war, action, horror. We'll see if we get any of those, but we do got to own this movie for $9.95. So Eraser, hell yeah. Oh, yes. Cliffhanger, y'all. Sylvester Stallone. Hell yeah. Bruh. Sister Act. Look at that. I love this movie so much. By the way, in my house right now, a working VCR. All right, this is the first. Okay, it's Dances with Wolves. Everybody likes this. I hate it. I never liked this movie. Maybe I should watch it again, but if I want to watch it again, I got it on VHS. Dances with Wolves. That's a cool one to have, though, for the collection. Bruh! I love this movie. Don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. Y'all, come on. Y'all remember this movie? We need to do that on PCP Movie Night. Nice! I have Raiders of the Lost Ark, but I don't have my personal favorite Indiana Jones movie, Temple of Doom, baby. Look at that. It's beautiful. Beautiful. Lost in Space. Hell yeah. Bruh, you just made John so jealous. Hammer Time, I hope you're still here. Because we got a copy of Tron on VHS, baby. Come watch it the way it's meant to be seen. Bruh! Dirty fucking Harry. Not the first Dirty Harry movie, but still dope as shit to have Dirty Harry. That's awesome as hell. Verno, you're the king. Packed these like 3 months ago. Forgot some of those were in there. Hell yeah. E.T. All right. This is my third copy of E.T. on VHS. You know what? I'm going to send this out to Dylan, so it's going to be part of his package for the 1,000 subscribers. By the way, Dylan's Horror Show reached 1,000 subscribers a few months ago. We're doing a giveaway in 2 weeks for the American Psycho. It's his finale for March Madness, but right before Itchy the Killer, we're doing American Psycho. You got to be live in the chat, and we're going to draw a name, and it's going to be awesome. And this will be part of the prize package. Thank you, Verno. I don't want to keep doing the same thing, but bruh, I'm like blown away. Die Hard 1 and 2. Oh my God. I love Die Hard. You know what? I watch Die Hard often, especially around Christmas time. I'm watching it on VHS this year, bruh. This is a stack of VHS. Bruh. Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone. Hell yeah. Phenomenon. I actually like this movie. Hot soundtrack features Eric Clapton's Change the World. What's in here? Oh. The proof of purchase, baby. Still attached. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Verno, you're killing it, man. You're killing it. You're killing it with these. All right. Here's another one I have. But it's still cool to have another. Batman. I love this shit. My other one's like pristine in a case. It was like a collector's thing. So like it's nice to have one I can fuck around with and actually maybe play. I should watch that on. I should. Last Action Hero. Bruh, you're picking the best movies to send, man. Comics Joe says, damn, bruh, you are living in a time capsule with them VHS. I love it. Yes. Those OG VHS covers. Hell yeah. Taking me back with these. I miss the Blockbuster experience. Me too. Never rub another man's rhubarb. Oh, I love this movie. Death Becomes Her. I don't have this on Blu-ray still, but love this. I need to start showing y'all the backs because the backs are just as cool. Because like, for instance, like Last Action Hero, on the back, you get the movie poster art. And I like that film a lot. All right, here's one I have. I do already have GoldenEye. But I don't think I have this copy of it. Wait, I don't have GoldenEye. I have The World Is Not Enough and Tomorrow Never Dies. Bruh, now I got GoldenEye. Thank you so much. I went from, yeah, I got this one to, bruh, Collateral Damage. You know, I've never seen this one. It's one of the Schwarzenegger ones I missed, but it's got 2 thumbs up. That's Roper, though, right? Yeah, Ebert and Roper. This is a stack of VHS. All right, I saw one, and I'm going to save that for the end. Caddyshack, first of all, that's freaking dope. Caddyshack. My favorite Western of all time. Unforgiven, bruh. Yes. What a treat. I love this dumbass movie, Con Air. A pure adrenaline rush. Oh my God. And one more in here. I've been wanting to rewatch this one. It's the fucking Flintstones, y'all. The Flintstones, John Goodman, Rick Moranis, Rosie O'Donnell. Who played... I don't even remember. It's Betty and Wilma. Who played Wilma? Oh, that's right. Halle Berry and Kyle MacLachlan are here too. Elizabeth Perkins. Yo, that's awesome. So that's the thing. So 1, 2. $25 VHSs added to the collection. Verno Station. My whole thing is covered. You know what? You get a Hellboy song. Let me tell you about this little man I know. His name is Hellboy. He was sent to the earth some long time ago to save it or destroy. Brought to this earth by Rasputin, son of a demon and I'm not a who. Had sex with the demon, but was raised by Professor Broom. Now he fights evil and monsters. Yeah. Now he fights with a man who's a fish named Abe. Now he fights with a fire starter named Liz and an ectoplasmic best named Johann. BPRD. And in case anybody didn't remember, ScarPad wants to remind us that VHS is a lower quality resolution compared to Blu-rays or even 4K. No shit, homie. It's like Steph said, it's the nostalgic flair. It's the actual having this. This is when they cared. All right, time for show and tell. First show and tell, we're going to start with this thing over here. Look at this cool screen cup I got from my local AMC theater. First of all, it's lenticular. Ghostface is there. Ghostface is gone. I really like this. This was a cool thing that kind of just makes it an extra special event. Plus, it's got this cool Ghostface topper. It pops off. It also pops off that base. So you got a Ghostface figure. There's 3 different ones. It's all Ghostface, just a slightly different pose. They're like, which one you want? I'm like, just give me that one. So if I go see Shazam this upcoming week, I'm going to get another. I got to remember which one I have. I got to take a picture of it probably. All right, got a new action figure this week. Go check out Go Figure Reviews. Can someone throw out the link to Jelani and Brooks' channel, Go Figure Reviews? There's a new video where we go over the new Sunman figures. And that's there, and I was there for that. But I had to go ahead and get my Digitino. So I'm pretty much caught up on Sunman right now. His vest glows in the dark. I got to play around a little bit with Jelani's, and it was pretty fun. Wait, what? All right, check this, y'all. I got a Visionaries #1 newsstand edition, if that matters, if you're nasty. But a Visionaries #1 from Marvel Comics. This is freaking awesome to have. I loved the Visionaries figures when I was a kid because they had the holograms on them. I got the DC Comics Total Recall movie adaptation. I didn't even know this existed. So that's freaking cool. Got some new blues this week. We got Dementia 13 from Vestron. This is Vestron number 22. It's the Francis Ford Coppola film. Dementia 13. Love that movie. I got in my copy of In Search of Tomorrow, a very 4.5 hour long. So In Search of Darkness, the horror movie documentary that I absolutely adore and love. They did one about 80s sci-fi. So that's In Search of Tomorrow. So I'm excited to dive into that. And the reason why I got that is because I finally got my copy of In Search of Darkness number 3. That's right. Got some posters to go along with it. They are awesome. This is a great documentary. I watched the digital version of it like a month or two ago when they sent it to me. But this is awesome. These 3 documentaries, In Search of Darkness, cover pretty much everything that's horror in the 80s. And it's just so freaking good. And my name is in the credits of that one. And 2, I think. Maybe not 2, but definitely 1. All right. Here's something I want to show off because this came out this week or last week. And I mentioned it on my review. Genius illustrated the life and art of Alex Toth. And I mentioned that I thought I already had this. But when I was looking through it, it didn't look like the stuff that I had. So this is a biography, but it also just shows a lot of the artwork and the life. Well, turns out I didn't already have it. I had this book. And then I'm sitting here going, man, they're calling it both books Genius Illustrated. I'm so confused. There's no 1 or 2. No, Robbie, the first one's called Genius Isolated. Oh my goodness. So this is like the first part of this series. Like I said, you got reprints of some of his work. You got sketches, you got art, you got all kinds of cool stuff. But now we've got Genius Illustrated, and this is like the 60s era stuff. So both right there, perfect for the collection. And that wraps up Show and Tell. And when we wrap up Show and Tell, that leads us into your Final 5. Couldn't really quite decide if I wanted to do like Final 5 or if I wanted to go Final 5. So anyway, we're in the Carnage USA bit. So here's the Liberty Bell. These all by the same person. Gail Heimbach. Yep, they're all by Gail Heimbach. That's cool. So Carnage at the Liberty Bell. This postcard's to Venom. Eddie, baby, long time no see. I'm in Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. Whatever that is. I've seen a list of historic stuff here, like this dusty old antique called the Liberty Bell. Fragile little thing. It's got a big crack right down the middle. Although I will admit, it has a few more since I've finished ringing it. Yep, there he is, just destroying national landmarks. The Lincoln Memorial. With the postcard to Dr. Kafka. Dear Dr. Kafka, do you know what I hate more than a goody two-shoes? A monument to a goody two-shoes. It's about time someone emancipated old Honest Abe's head from his body. I was going to mail the pieces to his next of kin, but I can't seem to find the number of his Gettysburg Address. This is so silly. Then we've got Graceland. Look at that. Carnage in Graceland. This is to Dr. Kafka again. I'm just a hunka burning and slashing, smashing, killing, and wrecking love. Now that this hound dog is no longer doing the jailhouse rock, I have to ask you, Doc, are you lonesome tonight? Well, don't count on me coming back because Carnage has left the building. Okay. Oh, the Alamo. Carnage at the Alamo. This one is to J. Jonah Jameson. Hey, JJ, what's new? Not this place, although from what I hear, it was a pretty fun place back in its day. Today, it's just a dusty old antique waiting to die. Hey, that sort of sounds like you, doesn't it? Speaking of death, I got a news flash for you. When I get through here, the whole world is going to remember the Alamo. And then we're going to wrap up the final 5 with Hollywood. Carnage in Hollywood. This happened a few years ago. This one's to Venom as well, this postcard. Hooray for Hollywood. I was hoping I'd see my name in lights, but if I can't have that, then I'll settle for everything else in lights and flames. With so many film crews capturing my antics, I better get an agent. Interested? Smile. You're in Carnage camera. That's so stupid. Anyway, that has been your Final Five. You're right, Helena. I'm sorry I didn't do Marvel in the 90s. I did not have time to get that done. Had a show with Rom V today. However, Marvel in the 90s does return next week. So, Helena, this is for you and Jay. Marvel in the 90s. Jay, I'm doing absolutely fantastic. Jay Burns, I'm talking to, my award-winning producer on the EXP on Monday night. So do check out that show tomorrow night at 5 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Right after that, Scarpad's Sci-Fi Sojourns. And right after that, PCP Movie Night March Madness continues with a look at Dress to Kill. Very excited to see you here, buddy. We are wrapping up, though. What's up, Evolving Earth Angel? I saw you said I was looking sharp. Thank you. This is a new shirt. I wanted like a blood red shirt. Like just solid blood red shirt. I got it. Loved it. I was like, you know what? I got Rom V coming on the show today. I'm going to wear my new red shirt. That's what I was thinking. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Once again, coming up here on the channel, Dress to Kill tomorrow night for PCP Movie Night as March Madness rolls on through. Dylan's Horror Show Saturday night with Triangle as March Madness continues to roll on through. We'll also be talking in full spoilery detail about Scream 6 on Thursday night. But before all that, and after the show at the EXP tomorrow, check out Scarpad Sci-Fi Sojourns as they talk about Westworld. Y'all, it's been a blast. It's been super fun. We love you. Thank you so much, Verno, for the VHS. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the likes, the shares, the subscribes, all that and more. And if you missed it, check out that Rom V interview. It's going to be a blast. And it's going to be a blast. It was a blast. And it's going to be a blast because all time is relative and the same. Anyway, we're dipping out. Thank you so much. We'll see you next week on Rockin Robbie Live and everything we do in between that. I'm struggling to find the button right now. All right. Where is it? There it is. Deuces. Yo, what's up? Welcome to the back chat, the post credits, whatever you want to call it. And we are totally opening up this Digitino. We're opening it up right now because I'm not going to wait like I usually do because I'm on a Sunman kick right now because me and Jelani and Brooks did that Sunman video. We had a great time, by the way. I didn't even mention this. We had a lot of fun. We were having some fun hanging out, drinking, smoking, doing all that jazz, talking about the history of Sunman, showing off the figures. I got to open up my Digitino right now. But that night, at the end, we watched the first episode of History of the World Part 2 and loved it. We were rolling on the floor laughing. So let's open this up. Who is Sunman, you ask? Check out the video. We talk about it over at Go Figure Reviews. Comes with a comic. That's cool. But basically, Sunman is a line of action figures that were created by a black woman for her son, who didn't feel like he was able to be a hero because he wasn't represented in his favorite toys and comics and shit. So she created a line of Masters of the Universe inspired figures that were all very diverse. And including Digitino. He's got a little rat tail that Brooks wanted to point out. He's got a little rat tail. His action feature is that his thing glows in the dark. He's got this like crab staff. But Mattel has worked in conjunction with the Sunman licensee or whatever, the company, and they have been putting out in their Motu Origins line the Sunman figures. So I don't have vintage Sunman figures. So there you go. Next best thing. That's freaking awesome. We'll be right back. I mean, I don't even know why we pretend to do 2 post credits, so let's just do this real quick. All right, now we're back. Okay, we're going to try this new Pepsi. This is a Pepsi Peeps. Peeps and Pepsi have joined forces this year. There is a Pepsi-flavored Peep. I haven't found it yet, but Mike, the voice Matthews, hooked me up with this Peeps-flavored Pepsi. It's marshmallow-flavored Pepsi. This is going to go everywhere. Anyway, excellent carbonation, first of all. Okay, it smells like Pepsi with marshmallows in it. Let's see what happens. Just so y'all know, I don't like Peeps, really. Okay, that's okay. That's interesting. All right, so first, it tastes like a vanilla Pepsi, and it tastes delicious. But then it does start tasting just like a Peep, and it feels like I just ate a Peep, and that's kind of grossing me out. So let's try it again, see if it does the same thing. Vanilla Pepsi, delicious. Very good. Right now, Peeps. Artificial, sweet, sugary. It's good at first, falls out. I'll give it 3 out of 5 you digs. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for joining us here on Rockin Robbie Live. We are dipping out. Thanks for watching. And I hope you all have a great week.
Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I'm Rockin Robbie